So today I'm going to be showing off Godzilla 1972 from Godzilla versus Gigan. And Gigan, that was his first appearance. He would also appear in the follow up film, which was Godzilla versus Megalon in, I believe, 1973. And then he would reappear decades later in Final Wars as a completely redesigned enemy. Um, Gigan appears to be one of the more popular kaiju, although he's not really had much success. He's never worked alone. In 1972, he appeared with King Ghidorah, and then in the follow-up film Megalon, and then in Final Wars, it was with Kaiser Ghidorah. Never had a lot of success, although he is the first kaiju to ever make Godzilla bleed, and you can see the blood on his face. And that is an alternate head. Here is the head that comes with it. And this is a very accurate reproduction. It is not, you can see that kind of the wonky eyes and a bit of the Oscar the Grouch look to him. And that was kind of how he looked in the 1970s. They definitely made him more realistic and frightening in future movies. And this was kind of when it was more of a kids' movie at this point, and he was the hero. So that was during the Showa era. It's, I'm never particularly impressed with the articulation on these Monster Arts figures. One of the things is they always seem to be a bit asymmetrical. Like for instance, Gigan's wings, they're asymmetrical, and I don't know if this is Bandai doing it on purpose because of the costumes at the time, or if it's QC or what. But like for instance, here you could see that the one leg will move out significantly more than the other, and it's got this floating piece in here to kind of block it. Although you could kind of move it and then peek inside. They don't have a lot of movement, although this is one of the better ones I've seen. And I do think that maybe Bandai is improving it somewhat. I think pound for pound, they're probably the highest quality. And this is not bad. It's got all these joints in here, and you think it can do a lot, but this is actually one of the best I've seen. To even be able to do this is kind of impressive. It's not that impressive, but compared to other Monster Arts figures, the jaw obviously is on a hinge, and so you can see that I think the paint job is perfectly fine. I know that a lot of people complain about the paint job on these Monster Arts figures, but I don't have any issues. I don't have the best vision, so some people may spot things that I don't, but I think it looks pretty good. We have some neck articulation. We have some, not bad arm articulation. But it's definitely a very good interpretation of Godzilla from 1972. We don't want it to be something more dramatic. We want it to be accurate. So here's the box, and it shows there's Godzilla with Gigan. So I think this may be the first Godzilla figure I own with a gimmick on it, which is the alternate head. And it was easy to pull the head off and replace it. So I can have Godzilla and Gigan going at it. I don't own any King Ghidorah, and that was a choice I made because it's just gigantic, and so I've already kind of run out of room on my shelf. I have a dresser, and it's now absolutely full of Godzilla Monster Arts figures. So I'm going to have to figure out something because I don't have any more room. So I'm pretty pleased with it. I think the paint, the toes, the fingers or the claws, the spines, everything looks fine. So with all the complaints, I think that these are probably hand painted, and maybe some people do a better job than others. And I think for the most part, I've gotten kind of lucky. I had some problematic figures early on, but I haven't had an SH Monster Arts figure that's been bad for quite a while. So either I'm lucky or QC issues have been improved or reduced, or possibly it's just that if you do get a bad figure, you're far more likely to write a negative review than if you get a good figure to write a good review. So you might be hearing a lot more from people who have issues than people who have no issues. So that's Godzilla 1972. They haven't done a ton of Showa, and this is not a re-release. I don't believe this is, as far as I could tell, they do a lot of re-releases, but this is the first time we've had Godzilla 1972 released. So there it is, from Bandai SH Monster Arts, Godzilla 1972 from Godzilla vs. Gigan.